What is going on, guys, and welcome to another video with your host, as always, K-Mac time. And with the recent events going on in the Steven Universe series with the wedding and all the stuff going on, it was just mind-blowing. It was cool to see the stuff on TV for the very first time, and it just got great reception from viewers and critics. Everyone alike was just loving the wedding and the kiss scene. It was perfect, and it just really pulled at your heartstrings, and it's a real big step forward for Cartoon Network and for the LGBT plus community, and I thought it was a really cool thing. But it got me thinking about what other characters in shows are LGBT plus that I've seen, and I started putting a list together of some of my top 10 favorites. So today I want to go over my picks for the top 10 LGBT plus community cartoon characters. And I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, but man, it's hard to say. Anyway, these are my top 10 picks. Now, they're not necessarily in any order or anything like that. These are just the picks of the characters that I think are funny or have been entertaining to me, and just happen to be either gay or bisexual, transsexual, transgender. It doesn't really matter, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. They're just characters that are what they are, and I like those characters. So without further ado, let's jump right in with number 10. Starting off our list is Howard and Harold McBride from the Nickelodeon show The Loud House. Now, Harold and Howard are two adoptive fathers of Clyde McBride, who is obviously best friends with the protagonist, Lincoln Loud. And Howard and Harold are overprotective of their son, and they shower him with attention, and they're just really positive characters. And it's actually the first time on Nickelodeon that they've ever depicted a pair of male characters being married. So it's the first time they've had a gay married couple on Nickelodeon. And they're really funny, interesting characters. I like them a lot, and they add a lot to the show, and they're just ones that really stand out for me.
Lincoln, ready for your big night?
You bet!
Great! Just a couple things Clyde will need: sleeping bag, feetsy pajamas, white noise machine.
You guys know I'm a huge fan of Rick and Morty. One of the funniest moments in that entire series, my favorite episode, is Total Recall. And in that episode, there's a character called Sleepy Gary, who is coming out as bisexual. He has this secret relationship with Jerry, but he's also married to Beth. It's absolutely hilarious. There's actually a making out scene with him and Jerry, and it's just absolutely hilarious. I thought this scene was well done. And I mean, they're talking about Chewbacca on the Star Wars coast. Oh my God, I die absolutely every time when I hear that scene. And it's just a really funny character, and I really enjoyed him a lot.
Maybe we'll see Chewbacca. I'd like that.
Next up is kind of an obscure character from kind of an obscure show that I just recently started watching, and that is Andrew Lagostomos from Sit Down and Shut Up. Now, Andrew is actually a flamboyant and bisexual drama teacher, and his last name in Spanish roughly translates to English to "he likes both," which is obviously a reference to his bisexual orientation. He's actually in love with a couple of characters in the show, and he hopes to get into a relationship with both of them when they become a couple. It's a really interesting dynamic. It's something you don't really see in a whole lot of cartoons or anime, and I thought it was a really interesting dynamic, and I liked it a lot, and I've been watching more of this show lately, and I'm really liking his character as I watch more of it. Another one of my all-time favorite animated series is Archer, and Ray is an openly gay agent in that show, and his character really is a standout, hilarious, funny person in that show. He can be flamboyant at times, but not always. He's not the stereotypical over-the-top flamboyant at all times, but he can be, and it's super funny. His character and Archer have these spats that get back and forth, but he takes it all in funniness, and he takes it all in stride, even though they sometimes make fun of him for his flamboyantness. But it's just a really good character. He's got really well designed. His voice actor is really well done as well, and just one of my favorite characters in the show, and a show that I absolutely love.
Mince around and gawk? About $1 million. But Cheryl was scared to come in here, so I took time out of my busy mincing schedule to tell you that you have a phone call.
Is it Sterling?
I am sure I don't know.
Do you know you're a little bitch?
Will you remember this conversation?
Probably not, no.
Well then, off. Voila.
Speaking of shows that I love, and one that just came out on a DVD, which is an absolutely amazing collector's edition. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And then it has Gravity Falls, and in that, Sheriff Blubbs and Deputy Durland are actually a homosexual couple. In the series finale, the two men publicly express their love for each other, and it's like this really powerful, moving moment, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, we all kind of saw it coming. There were signs along the way, obviously, but they never openly said it, and then they just really went for it, and they just announced it, and it was like, whoa, this is happening. And it was like a big deal when it first came out back on Disney XD back in the day. And I remember seeing that episode and being like, wow, this is really cool. And just for a moment, it really kind of stuck with me, and characters that I really, really enjoy from a series that's awesome.
It's a 2316.
Let's move.
I'm gonna get to use my name.
Another kind of obscure gay character is Gangstalicious from Boondocks. Now, if you've ever seen this series, you know that he is a gangster rapper who is in the closet as a homosexual, and it just leads to all kinds of hilarious hijinks throughout the episodes he's featured in. He goes to great lengths to stay in the closet to try to protect his persona, and it kind of just shows you the other sides, the things you didn't really think about as a straight male. You don't really think about being in the closet, so it kind of goes to show that there are people out there who have to struggle with this, and even though they make light of it in the show and they poke fun at it and they kind of make it in this funny situation, it does kind of open your eyes to different people in different situations and how that may not be something you're used to seeing. And on top of that, he's a hilarious character, and his rap songs in the videos are also hilarious. A great show and a great character.
Thuggin' love. I loved you, man.
What?
You broke my heart, man.
What the?
I got that dog in love.
Yeah.
Another pretty obscure show is drawn together, and I used to watch the show all the time back on Comedy Central as a kid growing up. And one of my favorite characters was Foxy Love. It's just a bisexual character who just goes around. Sometimes she's with men, sometimes she's with women. And at the time, I was a young kid. I didn't really had any exposure to a character like this on TV, especially an animated one. And it kind of just blew my mind back then. And that's why I kind of fell in love with the character and kind of fell in love with the show, even though it got canceled after like 1 or 2 seasons, sadly, because I actually really enjoyed the show. But her character is probably one of the first ones I saw of being a bisexual on a cartoon, and that's why she makes my list so highly, is because it's one of the early ones. It's one that really opened my eyes to the possibility of something like this being in a cartoon, and also I like the show a lot.
Claiming I violated her against her will? I never met anybody who don't want to kiss Foxy. Except maybe Papa.
Next up is Kira from The Legend of Korra, and she's actually Aang's daughter. And her sexuality, while not actually mentioned in the animated series, but there is a sequel that is a graphic novel called The Legend of Korra Turf Wars, where she is shown to be an open lesbian, and she even actually gives advice to Korra and Asami about coming out of the closet. And it's just kind of one of those characters that's like, whoa, you didn't really think about it, and then boom, mind blown. I read that graphic novel because I'm a huge fan of The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, so of course I read the graphic novel, and I read that, and it was like, whoa, this is really cool. I wish I would have put this in the animated series. Unfortunately, they never got around to that, but it's still cool we got it in the book form at least, and it's a cool character and one of my favorites. Coming up next is Marceline and Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time. Of course, this was going to make the list. I mean, I love Adventure Time, love the characters, and just wow, these guys are great. And it was actually announced back in 2014 at a book signing, of all things, that Marceline and Princess Bubblegum had dated in the past in the show, and that explains why their rivalry is so fierce and how they kind of go at each other. It kind of explains that. But then they're also both seen in other episodes, dating other people, dating men, and it's like, whoa, this is really cool. And you didn't really think about it, and then all of it comes full circle. I love these characters. Again, one of my favorite shows of all time, and these characters just blow my mind every time, and they have this funny spin on it and just all this kind of fun stuff put into it. Great characters, great show, and I love the backstory.
We haven't been down here in hundreds of years. Remember when I'd get you out of those stinky Cheese Kingdom trade meetings, and we'd sneak down here and spray paint the walls?
I am pretty sure it was me who found you vandalizing my property.
Yeah, but I got you to tag something, didn't I?
And of course, you knew it was not going to be number one on this list, and that is, of course, Ruby and Sapphire from Steven Universe. Now, we just got done watching the wedding and the kiss, so that's probably why they're so freshly in my mind, and probably maybe my favorites currently, and this could change in the future. But man, how amazing was it to see that wedding on Cartoon Network, the first lesbian kiss on Cartoon Network, the first openly lesbian marriage on Cartoon Network. All that was absolutely amazing. It was so well done, and they fused in the garden. It's like, oh my god, the heartstrings and all that kind of fun stuff, and it was done so well. And then you look back at the creator of the show who spoke about this was being their original plan from the beginning, and it's like, holy crap, how did they do this? How did they pull this off? All these things came together, and it just works out so perfectly and so beautifully. And it was just a huge moment in the LGBTQ plus community that something like this would be televised. Now, it has been televised, I believe, in South American countries. Usually they try to censor things like this, but I do believe it was in some of them. No word as it's going to be censored anywhere else in the world. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully everyone around the world gets a chance to see this, because it is absolutely beautiful. A great scene, a great couple of episodes put together, and some of the best rated too. I mean, the fans love this. Personally, I love this. The critics loved it. Everyone loved this, and everything about this was great. And it's a big step forward for not only the network but for the community. And it's something like this that we would like to see. But anyway, guys, those are just my favorite characters in the LGBTQ plus community. Let me know what yours are down in the comment section down below. Let me know what your favorites are. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Is there anyone else that should have made the list? Stuff like that. Let me know. Also, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button and subscribe for more cartoon videos like this in your sub boxes daily. Also, make sure you guys are checking out all the links in the description to hang out on my Discord. We do live chats and hang out there, and I talk there with people in the Discord like almost every single day. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Links to all that in the description as well. But until next time, guys, remember that it's always KMAC time somewhere. Until then, take it easy and peace